Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org, IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Lawmakers this week took their first pass at legislation aimed at addressing LGBT rights. The governor, during a State of the State address, said he wouldn't support any measure that prioritized LGBT rights over religious freedom. What does that mean about the future of the bills proposed this week? And 30 years ago this week, the film Hoosiers premiered.
He said, I want basketball players acting like actors, not actors acting like basketball players. And you can tell it.
Ahead, we reunite with the star of the 1954 Milan Team, Bobby Plump. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. It's been 4.5 years since Indiana University student Lauren Spierer went missing in Bloomington after a night out partying with friends. Thursday morning, the FBI and law enforcement officials descended on a property in Morgan County, and officials say it's related to the Spierer investigation. Our Barbara Brosher has been following this story. She joins us now from Morgan County.
Joe, we're just east of Martinsville on Old Morganstown Road. The scene is quiet right now. The homeowners have had the property turned back over to them, but it was a different case yesterday when the FBI was out here raiding and searching the property. Much of their focus was on this brown barn you'll see behind me. They're working with the Bloomington Police Department, and the Spierer family has also hired a private investigator. They're hoping for answers because their daughter hasn't been seen since June 2011. It was 4:30 in the morning on June 3rd when Lauren Spierer was last seen in the area of 11th and College, reportedly en route to her apartment at Smallwood Plaza after a night out partying at Kilroy Sports Bar. As word of her disappearance spread, the community got involved. Spierer's parents, who are from New York, set up a search headquarters near her apartment.
Somebody's responsible for Lauren's disappearance. Somebody knows where she is. And if you know that person, please come forth with the information.
Volunteers plastered all the public places around Bloomington with missing poster signs. The Bloomington Police Department and the Spierer family conducted daily press briefings in the days after her disappearance.
It's a fuzzy picture, but I think if you look closely at the content in this picture, you will see who Lauren is. She's a happy, smiling, beautiful young lady on her way out for the evening to meet with friends. That's the Lauren that we're looking for.
For 4.5 years now, police have combed through thousands of tips, conducted interviews and re-interviews. The Spierers have unsuccessfully sued the men who were with their daughter the night she disappeared. They've called the silence since Lauren vanished deafening. Back out here in Morgan County, police have not named any suspects in the Spierer investigation, but we do know this was the last known address for Justin Waggers, who's been in the Johnson County Jail since August on indecent exposure charges. He also has a long criminal past. Joe, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. The private investigators hired by the Spierer family say the family found out about most recent developments from the media. A journalist reportedly called the family seeking comment. The Spierers investigators say Bloomington police haven't released any information to them. And certainly this is a story that we will continue to follow as it develops. You can check WTIUnews.org for updates. Lawmakers at the State House this week confronted one of the most talked about issues of the session, the clash between LGBT rights and anti-discrimination. A House committee approved a bill this week that will provide protections for people based on sexual orientation while allowing for some religious exemptions. Committee members listened to hours of testimony on the proposal before voting, and as Barbara Brosher reports, it's apparent few Hoosiers fully support the bill.
Equal protections, no exceptions. Equal protections, no exceptions.
The scene at the State House Wednesday felt a bit like deja vu. Freedom, Indiana, holding a rally in the Rotunda, asking legislators to treat the LGBT population the same as every other Hoosier.
Indiana's civil rights law should protect every single resident of this state, no matter who they are or who they love.
This debate has been a year in the making. After RFRA passed last year and legislators quickly drafted a fix, attention shifted to the lack of civil rights protections for people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. Lawmakers vowed to address that during this year's legislative session and took the issue up in a Senate committee Wednesday.
I hope that members understand that, and folks in the audience understand that, or here in the chamber understand the struggles that you go through in trying to find that common ground with two opinions that seem to be so divergent.
Republican Travis Holdman offered up two bills, Senate Bill 100 and Senate Bill 344. SB 100 would provide civil rights protections for the LGBT community and allow for religious exemptions. But SB 344 would only provide protections based on sexual orientation, moving gender identity to a summer study committee. It provides exemptions for small businesses, religious organizations, adoption agencies, crisis pregnancy centers, and nonprofits that do religious work. Some of the dozens of people who spoke out during the 4.5-hour hearing say while SB 344 isn't all-inclusive, it's better than nothing.
Today, it is within the law to say you're gay, you're fired. You're gay, you have 30 days to vacate this apartment. You're gay, you can't eat at this lunch counter. And that's just simply wrong, and a significant majority of Hoosiers agree.
But people on both sides of the issue spoke out against the proposals. Some worry, even with exemptions, the bills will infringe on religious liberty.
We believe equating the sexual preferences and practices of some with the most cherished rights of all, most especially freedoms of conscience and religion, erodes those founding freedoms while creating special new rights for the favored groups.
Baronelle Stutzman ran a flower shop in Washington State. She came to provide a warning to business owners.
Don't subject Indiana's to what I'm going through.
She had to shut down her shop in the wake of a lawsuit after she refused to provide flowers for a gay wedding.
If you vote for these bills, you'll be sending a message to the citizens of Indiana that share my beliefs about marriage, that they will not be tolerated. They will be threatened, dragged into court, sued, and lose their business.
Other opponents of the measure say they don't go far enough in protecting one of the state's most vulnerable populations.
It would be wildly inappropriate for anyone to tell someone how to be trans. And it is beyond the scope of reason for a group of lawmakers to dictate who is and who is not transgender.
The bills, as they are written right now, are shameful and frankly cowardly. They placate a few people who refuse to understand that we live in a pluralistic society.
At the end of the night, legislators decided to bring the bill that provides protections only for sexual orientation and religious freedoms up for a vote, passing it through committee 7-5. The bill will be debated on the Senate floor as early as next week. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brosher.
A big question remains, though, at the end of the debate. Will Governor Mike Pence sign a bill if it makes it to his desk? During a State of the State address this month, Pence said he would not support any legislation that would take away Hoosiers' right to religious freedoms.
Legislation must be consistent with the Indiana Constitution. I will not support any bill that diminishes the religious freedom of Hoosiers or interferes with the constitutional rights of our citizens to live out their beliefs in worship, service, or work.
And it's worth mentioning that lawmakers' attempts to fully rewrite last year's religious freedom restoration law got squashed early this week. The measure barely got a hearing, let alone a vote. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. It's been 30 years since Hoosiers hit the big screen. Coming up in our History Through Headlines segment, we'll hear from Bobby Plump. He's the real-life Milan basketball player whose game-winning shot is dramatized in the film. Also, what's causing inmates at the Putnamville Correctional Facility to get sick? One prisoner has died and more than 30 prisoners have been hospitalized. More on the outbreak and what's being done to stop it. Plus, Sarah Whitmire joins us with all the news headlines from around the state. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
We are a nation of explorers. We seek new ways of living, of thinking, and of expressing ourselves. We take risks. We learn from experience, and we keep moving forward. That's why we encourage and celebrate the explorer in all of us.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18.5.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, it's certainly been a busy week around the state. Barbara Brosher is out in the field, so Sarah Whitmire joins us now for headlines.
Thanks, Joe. A House committee Thursday approved a 5% income tax cut. It's tucked into the GOP's larger road funding legislation. The move is seen as an effort to make the bill more palatable to lawmakers opposed to the gas and cigarette taxes contained in the GOP roads plan. House Ways and Means Chair Tim Brown says the income tax cut would balance out the caucus's road funding bill. Meanwhile, Democrats on Ways and Means oppose the cut, saying it will weaken state revenues and won't really help low-income Hoosiers. Jennifer McCormick hopes to challenge State Superintendent Glenda Ritz in the 2016 general election. McCormick has been superintendent of Yorktown Community Schools for 6 years. If elected at the Republican Party's state convention in April, McCormick would face Ritz in the November election. Ritz's tenure as state schools chief has been marked by political fights with State House Republicans, including Governor Pence. The 2014-2015 school A through F grades are now available, according to a statement from the State Board of Education. 55% of Indiana schools received A's and nearly 3% received F's. Governor Mike Pence signed 2 bills this session to protect teachers and schools from the grades because they were negatively impacted by a change in ISTEP tests. After an outbreak of avian flu last week, Du Bois County officials are still monitoring their poultry. The outbreak spread quickly in a matter of days. More than 400,000 birds were killed in an attempt to contain the spread of the bird flu. Workers continue to test flocks. International rules stipulate the surveillance must continue for at least 21 days after the last positive test for the avian flu virus. The outbreak will be declared over officially if no more birds test positive for it in the next 9 days. 15 inmates from the Putnamville Correctional Facility are under observation for illness, including 7 at the Terre Haute Regional Hospital. An outbreak of H1N1 influenza is forcing a Putnamville Correctional Facility to take extra precautions, often referred to as swine flu. The strain of influenza left 1 dead and dozens hospitalized this week.
We have engaged the ultimate experts at the Board of Health and the Center for Disease Control. We're certainly following their direction. We've taken every precaution possible to prevent the spread, and we all feel comfortable with that.
All staff members and inmates who have not previously had a flu vaccination have now been offered the vaccine. A bill that would allow the public and press to view police body camera footage is out of the House and headed to the Senate. The bill allows for law enforcement to refuse the release of footage unless presented with proof that the footage is needed. House Republicans rejected an amendment this week that would make it easier for the public to claim access to police body camera videos. Parties involved in an incident would be allowed to view the video in private. An attorney for the former Indiana University student accused of attacking a Muslim woman filed a motion Monday to have him examined by a psychiatrist. Police say Tristan Bickford choked the woman while yelling racial comments outside of Bloomington's Sofra Cafe. Later, he tried to kick out the window of a police car and bit a police officer. In November, Bickford was granted a change of venue because of the publicity surrounding the case. Bickford will appear in court again March 24th for a pre-trial conference. Indiana is one of only 5 states without a hate crimes law. Legislation a Senate committee unanimously approved Tuesday would allow judges to inflict harsher penalties based on a person's motivation for committing a crime. The bill now heads to the Senate floor. The future of a more than 100-year-old bridge in Paoli is uncertain, and so is the future of the woman who caused it to collapse. Mary Lambright appeared in court for the first time this week to face charges. Becca Costello reports.
For the past month, it's been the talk of the town. The bridge on Paoli's South Gospel Street remains closed after police say Mary Lambright ignored weight limit signs and drove a semi over the structure, causing it to collapse. Now she's facing several charges, and her family's facing mounting feelings of guilt.
This is my hometown, and I just want to apologize to the community of what happened. It was a mistake.
Repairs could total $1 million, leaving the future of the bridge in limbo. The county is waiting to hear back from the trucking company's insurance, and Lambright says she no longer works there.
I don't know yet will I lose my license or not. I don't know will I go to jail or not. I have no idea what's about to happen. So.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Becca Costello.
Changes are underway with how Indiana correctional facilities treat inmates with mental illnesses. Years after a judge attributed a number of suicides to poor treatment in Indiana prisons, the ACLU of Indiana and the Department of Corrections have finally reached an agreement on how to treat mentally ill prisoners. The ACLU will get increased access for monitoring the treatment of mentally ill inmates at state prisons, and the decision will likely affect inmates put in solitary confinement as well.
We were moving an ocean liner. We were changing, really radically changing how this population is being treated.
A judge still has to sign off on the agreement, but Falk says he is optimistic. A bill preventing mothers from getting an abortion under certain conditions is headed to the Senate floor. The bill is virtually identical to one that didn't pass last year. It bans abortions less than 20 weeks into term, but only if the patient's motivation is based on race, gender, disability, or the possibility of disability. A House committee approved 2 bills aimed at curbing meth production. Both are similar to bills advanced last week through Senate committee. Indiana leads the country in meth production. The first bill mandates that anyone with a drug-related felony would be unable to purchase drugs containing ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, a key ingredient in the most pervasive method for cooking meth. The second, known as the Nosy Pharmacist Bill, would require pharmacists to consult with customers asking for pseudoephedrine drugs. Legislators all got on board this week with a measure that would legalize and regulate daily fantasy sports sites such as FanDuel and DraftKings. The bill specifies that daily fantasy sites are not gambling. It imposes some insider information protections, barring daily fantasy employees and their families from playing. It also bans professional athletes and officials from playing. The measure says game operators must ensure their players are at least 18 years of age and must charge an entry fee to play. The American Red Cross is reporting a shortage of blood donations in Indiana. Severe weather caused the group to cancel an unusually high number of blood drives. According to the Red Cross, more than 20 drives were canceled in southern Indiana in the past 3 weeks. The Red Cross says donations are used to serve the local area as much as possible, but the shortage is being felt nationwide. Donors can track where their blood ends up by using the Red Cross smartphone app. And you won't be able to buy alcohol in stores on Sundays anytime soon in Indiana. A bill that would have allowed Sunday sales met the same fate as many similar bills before it. The bill was quickly voted down this week in committee. Committee members cited concerns about access to alcohol in pharmacies and in grocery stores. But the fight over whether Indiana Dunes State Park can serve alcohol continues. The bill would require the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission to issue permits to state parks without local input. Previously, a developer wanted to file for an alcohol permit on Dunes State Park's property, but they were voted down by a local board. The Senate bill would likely not move forward, but a bill in the House has duplicated those requirements. Dunes State Park is the only state park in Indiana with a ban on alcohol. A new YMCA is opening next month in Kokomo. The YMCA is around $3 million away from its $16 million fundraising goal. Over the past couple of years, the city committed $4 million to the project, which Mayor Greg Goodnight says coincides with the city's master plan.
We like the aesthetics of the building. It's a very modern urban YMCA, and so I think it's something we can all be very proud of.
And you can see the streetscape for yourself soon. The ribbon cutting is scheduled for February 29th.
And you know, Sarah, we were there, but they wouldn't let us in yet because they were moving in. But we have a date about 2 days before the grand opening, so we'll get a sneak preview.
Insider access.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, if you live in Indiana, it's hard to imagine you haven't seen the film Hoosiers. Maybe you've even have the script memorized. The movie turns 30 this year, and to celebrate the film's anniversary, we're taking a look back in time. And now we take a look back to what was making the news in our History Through Headlines segment. It was 1986. Ronald Reagan was president. Dionne Warwick's That's What Friends Are For was the #1 song. And 30 years ago, a film that would solidify Indiana as the basketball capital of the nation premiered. The headline reads, Hoosiers going strong, headed for a national release. The film was based on Milan High School in Indiana. The small-town basketball team overcomes great odds to win the state championship. Jimmy Chitwood is the team's star player in Hoosiers. In real life, his name is Bobby Plump, and he still lives in Indiana.
You got a motorcycle policeman. He was in our dressing room before the game, and he said, fellas, if you win this game, I'll take you downtown Indianapolis, and we'll go around the circle the wrong way. And he did.
Awards and other souvenirs decorate Plump's office. The movie strayed from the real tale in some ways, but Plump says it's still a source of pride, not just for Milan, but for the state.
Out of the 30 in my graduating class, 17 of the 30 went on to higher education. And that filtered on down to the lower grades. It just felt like that, well, look what happened here. They never won a game in the regional, and you win a state tournament. Let's see if we can improve ourselves. That's the real important thing that happened in 53 and 50, and the fact that it's lasted this long, and I get to talk to you guys.
The film's director is at it again. This time he's producing a film that's being shot in Bloomington. It's called The Good Catholic and features Danny Glover and John C. McGinley. Well, new 3D technology makes sports instant replays look like scenes from the blockbuster movie The Matrix. The 3D instant replay is changing the fan experience. It's making its way into professional sports stadiums, and Indiana University will be the first school in the nation to get it. It's not like anything you're used to seeing.
We're changing the realm of video, essentially. We're no longer shooting video. We're creating a three-dimensional realm in which then we can pilot a virtual camera inside of.
Bricken says the camera angles are limitless, giving the spectator views they've never seen before. Crews are working on the equipment in Assembly Hall now. 28 cameras surround the court. Each camera has its own server that feeds a control room where a pilot operates the 3D replays. The so-called pilots will be IU students. It's part of the new $5 million Mark Cuban Center. Students will master the technology, and if all goes as planned, they're all but guaranteed a job with the technology manufacturer 3D after they graduate.
It's something that's still kind of hard to wrap your mind around it sometimes. You know, to think that you've been this lucky to be able to learn this kind of stuff and have these kinds of opportunities, it's just been unbelievable.
3D's list of venues is growing, but already includes cities such as Berlin, Rio, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Chicago. Now, if you have tickets to those last couple IU games of the season, watch for those new replay angles. CBS will also be using them for the Super Bowl that's coming up on February 7th. Isn't that cool?
That's really neat. That'll give you something else to look for other than just the commercials for me anyway.
That's right. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers, now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. SIphysicians.org, IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.